What's up, YouTube family? Welcome to our Brax Tiny Desk. So we wanted to create this room, this overall atmosphere, to really encapsulate the level of detail that we exude in our projects. When you look at the outside of how everything is done from the outside of the building, it has that representation of a coffee shop in France. That's kind of the idea that I had behind the outside. So the outside of the building really draws intrigue when it comes to what's inside. When you look through one of the windows, you see an opaque image of somebody with headphones on listening to audio. It really gives the idea of the mystery behind what's inside this room. Of course, we have the black awnings going over each one of the windows. We have the glass door with, of course, the Musaic logo right there. When you walk inside the room, you'll notice 3 independent areas within the room. You'll notice a display board that's going to house different levels of equipment that are going to be primarily to show OEM integration. System layout between Mercedes, a Ford Bronco, and a traditional BMW system. Each one of these display boards will represent a full system that you would use to do an OEM integration job inside each car. It shows the breakdown of the equipment, the amp, the DSP, and then we have different tunes set up so you could hear it with just a bass tune to where there's nothing tuned for the room. In this case, we're not in the car, we're in a room, but you will see a before and after physical tune of what can be done with the DSP technology. We also have a traditional demo wall that is going to showcase the different levels of the universal Helix drivers, in this case the i3, i5, and i7. And on the other side of the room, we're going to have our full consultation desk. This is going to be a spot where me and a client can sit down and discuss their project in full detail. We can go through our website, musaicdesign.com, and look at projects that we've done in the past, look through the details of those projects and see if it aligns with what they're trying to do and accomplish. Attention to detail was, of course, a priority within this room as well, while keeping it somewhat simplistic. So, of course, around the TV, you're going to notice our whiskey bottles. We have one from the old-fashioned Car Audio podcast from Maker's Mark, of course, a bottle of Blanton's. We're going to have some various awards run throughout the area surrounding the TV, including our 2-time Retailer of the Year awards from Mobile Electronics Magazine, and then of course my Installer of the Year award that I won in 2016. And then where I'm sitting now, you're going to have our Brax Tiny Desk listening area. So what I love about this and the idea behind what I wanted to do here is anytime that we are demoing a critical listening system to a client inside their car, generally I'm going to use my iPhone. We're going to set it on the center of the dashboard, and that's going to give you a real visual representation of how the music is playing within their vehicle, right? It's going to show you where the singer's located because you can see them physically on the screen. They're standing in the center. You have a trumpet to the left, a saxophone to the right, a guitar to the way far left. All of these instruments are going to display themselves perfectly as you see them visually in your car. So it's going to give you the proof of concept that the car soundstage is set up 100% accurately to what it is you're listening. And then from there, you can expand beyond the NPR Tiny Desk and play any types of music, then start using musical representations of soundstage, of where different things are located in the music, right? If things are going to start on the left side of the car and then go all the way to the right side, you're going to be able to see the extreme width and depth. So starting with the visual representation like the NPR Tiny Desk is always a great way for me to educate the client into understanding what a true and accurate soundstage is, because most people are not used to this whatsoever. So when we built this room, obviously it was very important to have a large TV that is going to be over all of our traditional studio listening equipment. The equipment that we have behind me here is going to be all from Brax. The Matrix line, they also have just released their Revolution line, but all of these are going to be Brax drivers and amplifiers that we do install in cars. Obviously car audio equipment here behind me, and we have everything set up to display so you can see what the equipment is. We have our Brax DSP right here behind our computer. We have everything running through this DSP software, which we would use on your vehicle. So you can kind of see what a traditional tune looks like, right? I can turn everything off, keep the crossovers on, take the generic filters off, the all-pass filters off, and then you can kind of see the big difference in what is happening, right? So you can see the difference between a tune versus a non-tune. Even in a room like this, we have to tune the room, right? So the representation of this room is much like your vehicle. It's not just set up the equipment, let it rock and roll, and let it go. We are tuning independently. All of these speakers have different crossover points from the left to the right to the center. So it's really going to show you that no matter where you're at with your audio system, a good tune makes or breaks the system, right? So when we can demo things here, we have all of my favorite Tiny Desk ripped onto a USB flash drive, which we can go through each individual Tiny Desk. You can listen to it here in the room, which would be the overall reference of what you would hope to get out of your car, right? This is a room. We don't have the constraints of the car. You're positioning yourself perfectly in the center of the speaker. This is going to give you the reference to how it then should sound in the car. So we can go from here inside this room into the vehicle to then see the difference, to then see where the big limitations can derive from in a car. Or what I like to often say to a lot of clients is, for me, a car done well and tuned correctly is going to trump the experience that you're going to have in here. And the overall reason for that is primarily dynamic range. The amount of space in a car versus a larger room like this, the acoustics are just going to be a lot more dynamic. So if you can totally eliminate the reflections and a lot of the stuff happening with phase inside the car based on speaker placement, you can have a, in my opinion, much superior listening experience than you would listening here at this desk. Same speaker, same amplifiers in another car, again, is going to yield a more dynamic experience than this overall room here. Because to get the same dynamic range out of this room, we would have to have a lot more speakers than you see behind me, right? A lot more power, a lot more money. So again, it's just going to be an experience unrivaled to that of sitting here. We also have our ASE Kern, in this case the SP3000, that is right here to my right, so we can switch through some of the different sources. I can play Bluetooth from my phone. I can then play the ASE Kern, so you can see the big differences directly between my phone and something like a high-end DAP here that is the ASE Kern. So when you have the true listening experience, you're really going to understand the differences. And again, my goal here is for this same experience to translate the same, if not better, inside your vehicle. So that's why having this as a demo is very important to me. Another thing we have set up here that you can demo is, of course, going to be our Tesla Model 3 demo car. This car is going to be fully outfitted with a Moscone Pro amplifier setup. So it's going to have a 430 on the mid-range and tweeter. It's going to have a 210 on the mid-bass and the door. It's going to have a 110 on each one of the subwoofers. Each sub's going to be a Focal Utopia M 10-inch subwoofer in a sealed enclosure in the rear of the trunk. We're going to have a Focal Utopia M 3-way set of speakers, 8 in the door, mid-range and tweeter in custom pillars. Again, once you come from our Brax Tiny Desk demo, we then go out to the Tesla Model 3, which again is going to be all set up, done the way that we do things. No detail left behind. The interior's been fully outfitted with everything to fully integrate the equipment in the best way that we see possible. A little more flair to the install, especially in the trunk. I'm not sure if you guys have seen, but we do have a 4-episode build series of this car as it's being built, also on my YouTube channel, so go ahead and check that out if you haven't yet. If you head on over to our website, musaicdesign.com, there will be a demo tab where you can book a time to come in, listen to our Brax Tiny Desk room experience this. Come see everything in person. Maybe get yourself a coffee or some cappuccino from our machine here inside the room. And then, again, we'll go out to the Tesla Model 3 and really see what is car audio. What is the reference in 2025? How should that sound? What is the limitations? What are the possibilities, right? Because I'm going to assume that it's probably going to be one of the better listening experiences you've ever had inside a vehicle or at all, period. So check out our website, musaicdesign.com. If you've not followed our YouTube channel yet, if this is the first time you're seeing us, make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, hit the alert bell, letting you know anytime we drop a new video. If you want to reach out to me directly for a job, here's my phone number followed by my email address. These are the two best points of contact for me. Make sure you follow us on all the social media platforms. You got TikTok, you got Instagram, at The Real Matty S on both. Sound Effects Automotive is going to be the sound effects side of both of those. And then also, if you're into the additional content, like what you're seeing here beyond the builds, check out our podcast. We have a podcast called the Old Fashioned Car Audio Podcast. We, at this point, are nearing 50 episodes, streaming everywhere on Spotify. It's me and my friend Gary Bell. We go through the history and evolution of audio equipment. And we also break down and have the conversations of why we should be doing certain things. Why are we doing 2-ways over 3-ways? Class A amps over Class D amps? What things do we look for in a build? We also have guests from all over the world join the podcast when it comes to manufacturers, other installers, to get different perspectives from everyone who loves doing what we do. So go ahead and check that out. And like always, guys, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you, and
until next time, peace.